This video is totally unscripted and it's not going to have any practical application. However, it's an insight that just arose for me as it relates to my life and doing things and being creative and achieving success and reaching milestones in life. I realized that I spent a lot of my life seeking to get to a place where I was there, wherever there was. For me, if I'm honest, it looked like a place where people looked after the things that I didn't want to pay attention to in life. So I would want success so that I could just outsource the problems that I didn't want to deal with. And that sounds like a great idea. And as I started to, let's say, level up in my own life and get to the places where I thought that I could, outsource those problems, I realized that more problems came. So if it was, hiring somebody to do something, then I would now just have to deal with their shortcomings or whatever didn't work out. And every now and again, I'll find myself thinking, oh, I can't wait till I get to that milestone, because then, other people will just organize my life. Other people will make the hard decisions and I won't have to do that. But I just realized that no one is going to be able to make those decisions. Nobody's going to be able to take away the challenge of my existence. And the only person that can handle it is me. And with consideration to that, I don't necessarily need to get anywhere. Not that I can't get anywhere or that I shouldn't get anywhere, but it's that by getting there, it's not going to solve most of the problems. It might solve certain problems. Like making more money obviously solves certain money problems, but it also, presents new challenges. And if I can overcome challenges as an individual, then that's the most powerful asset that I can cultivate for myself. Because if I'm constantly chasing something else, some other status or some other position or some other, partner or whatever it might be, then I'm going to again realize that there's new problems and new challenges that come with that. So rather than seeking different situations to find, a better state of being, I need to just trust myself. Because the thing that I think will solve the frustration that I have, it won't. Because the frustration isn't really tied to any situation. It's just a state of being. There's this saying that I like. I heard it from a guy called Matt Kahn. And he says, if I had everything I wanted right now, I would still feel the same. And the way that I interpret that and the way that it makes me feel when I say that is just this sense of relief. Because often I find myself in situations where I'm uncomfortable. And I'm not the only human that does that. I'll feel like, oh, I'm not content here, but if I get that, I'll be happy, or I'll be content. And so the hope is to escape from the feeling of discomfort. But what if the feeling of discomfort isn't actually linked to that thing over there being here or not being here? What if that's just our mind's attempt to escape? Because I believe it is, and I found it to be true that it is. But it's so tricky because anytime a feeling comes up, the mind thinks that the answer is over there in that packet of jelly babies or that chocolate bar or a promotion or a new partner or whatever. But when I say, if I had everything I wanted right now, I would still feel the same, all of a sudden I realize that I don't feel this way because I don't have the jelly babies or because I don't have the love life or that I don't have the money or the car. I just feel this way because I feel this way because humans feel things. And of course there might be temporary relief with getting whatever that thing is. There's always temporary relief when we do things that don't really serve us in a sustainable sense. You know, I can go and eat a lot of chocolate, but I'll feel physically not great after. So it's a short-term fix, but it's like one step forward and two steps back. It's the cheap dopamine. The thing that I think is going to fix me is actually going to harm me. But of course, I don't realize that until I've already consumed the poison. And so rather than chasing something to avoid how I feel, if I acknowledge that even if I had that thing, I'd feel the same and possibly even worse, then maybe I'd be more inclined to just embrace what is happening right now for as long as it's here. And I've found that it never lasts for too long. When I stop resisting or when I go into it, it eventually changes. So, nobody, nothing will save you but you. And you don't even need to be saved, if we're being honest, because you're just experiencing the human condition. And that's not a sign for alarm. We've just forgotten, or we're pretending that these parts of our experience aren't valid or they're not right. We label them, in ways that see them as a fault or a flaw. We're riding a wave. It's not always going to be plain sailing. You're going to get tossed around a little bit. Sometimes there's just nothing really going on and you're wondering, when's the next set of waves coming in? And those are the moments where, rather than frantically looking around for waves that aren't there, for opportunities that aren't there, why don't we just sit with the one that is here? And maybe it is that we're just chilling out back on our surfboard, bobbing up and down, checking out the sky. Maybe there's some people walking past. Nobody's going to save you because you don't need to be saved.